Hi there. Are we ready for the next stress fix? I got this one and one more coming for you. Okay, not saying that there's not other ways, but these are my top ways to reduce stress. So today is going to be an interesting day because it can include things that you purchase. But here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to introduce it with tools that I use that are more of an investment to ones that are not that, like a reasonable investment, to cheap to free. Okay? We need to take a step back before we get into the tools, which I'm really excited to show you. But we have to understand what stress is. And I know in the first video for the stress fixes, I talked about it, but I just want to do like a little recap and maybe add on a little bit here. And that is to say that we have a higher brain, which is when we're doing things we love, when we're in flow, when we're around people we love, when we're having fun, when we're being creative. That's our higher brain. And then we have our lower brain, which is our amygdala, which keeps us in fight or flight. So we can also reduce it to your parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest and, all the lovey things, and or fight or flight, which is cortisol, survival, One is high beta, one is high alpha. Okay, we want to get rid of the high alpha as much as we can and introduce more and more. Did I say that wrong? We want to reduce the high beta, and we want to expand and increase the high alpha. That's the key to all of this. Like if there was one thing I could say to the world about how you can manifest, the number one thing would be find your alpha. It is the number one thing. And it's so funny when you think about it, because in the dog world or in the primate world, the alpha is the big bad one. But in our world, in the human world, the alpha brainwave, well, it is kind of the big badass one, because you know why? The people who understand how to work with it are more intuitive, more healthy, and manifest more effectively. So alpha is your friend, okay? Now, if we wanted to take that, back a little bit, like, okay, amygdala, hyper, not so good for manifesting, alpha, relaxed, great. What's behind it all besides the nervous system? Well, it's something called your vagus nerve. And I don't mean Vegas like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's like, slot machines, bright carpets. That's not what I mean. You have a vagal nerve that runs on both sides of your throat all the way down your body. Your vagal nerve, your vagus nerve, is actually the biggest nerve in your entire body. And you can do a ChatGPT or a Google search if you want on polyvagal theory, which I've studied immensely. But at the end of the day, in order to get our stress down, we need to stimulate, not relax, but stimulate our vagal nerve, our vagus nerve. And I want to tell you something. You do have it on your right side, but we focus on the left side. The only time that we focus on the right side, and this is not for you if you don't have this equipment, but I use the right side when I have clients in my health branch of my coaching, when I'm working one-on-one with clients in person who have cardio, like heart attack scares, heart disease, anything that's dealing with even their lungs. I will stimulate this side. But for all intents and purposes, you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so the first tool, which is the biggest investment, and it's something in my last book. Oh, I have it right here. It's something in this book that I recommend. Every household should have one, not just for stress relief, but for burns, for contusions, for sprains, for shock, for everything. And it's my 𝒏𝒍𝒆. I have a big toolkit, and I'm not asking you to invest in a big toolkit. I'm just telling you that it comes from something I believe eventually every family will need to have. It'll save so many trips to the emergency room. Anyway, one of the things that I use it with every day, both my husband and I, are for stress reduction. So this is the main unit. And by the way, I'm an affiliate I don't sell it outright, but I will put underneath this video, I will put a link for my affiliate link. You don't have to buy it through me, but you're going to spend the same amount of money no matter what. And if you buy it through me, then I get a little tiny hit. So that's good, right? Anyway, this is a basic unit. This is called the Evolution. And this doesn't look like such a big deal, right? But this has, I don't know if you can see it. You see all the different different gradations of frequencies. This is a powerful little dude here. So one of the first things that we use it for, and this is an attachment, and it usually comes when you get the kit, and you plug it in here and you put it on your first setting and you hold it. You find your I can never say it, the artery, the carotid artery, whatever it is. You feel it right there. And then you push a little bit in and back, and you just set this here. And it doesn't hurt at all. You'll get a little tingle, tingle, tingle. If it tingles too hard and you're like, oh, I don't like that, you turn it down. But you want a little tingle, tingle. And you just literally hold it for 5 minutes. Now, if you are someone who has panic attacks or super stressed out, you're like in fight or flight all the time, you should do it 3 or 4 times a day. But, you know, my husband and I do it in the morning, and we do it in the evening when we're relaxing after dinner. You know, it's no big deal. But this is a lifesaver. And another thing, if I can find it, that comes with this, or that you buy separately, but it's really not expensive, are the alpha earplugs, or alpha ear clips. And you plug this in, and you clip these to your ears while you're working at your desk, watching TV, whatever. And what this does is it kind of forces your brain into the alpha wave. Okay, so one is vagal stimulation, and one is forcing your brain into alpha. So how much is this? I don't know, because I've had this for a few years. I think they're around $1,000, and the parts are just like really not that much, like $20, $30 or something. But it's not just for stress. Like I said, I've had burns. I have immune system things. When you get something going on with your belly, you know, I know of people who have healed broken bones with this technology. It's called microcurrent. Look it up. It's amazing. And again, I think every household should have one, regardless. Okay, so that was kind of the more pricey investment. Now, for a much less, is I can do an AO scan on you. This is not a phone. This is my AO scanner. And what comes with an AO scanner is I get some information from you, and I run it through, and I will run a scan on you, and I will give you a report that is something you can really comprehend, like, wow, my nervous system is shot, or okay, I really need to watch what I'm eating. So there's the health aspect of it, not a doctor and not a medical device, but there is a health aspect to it. Because remember, everything that you experience in your material world began in the energetic world. It's spirit and then matter. Einstein said it. It's never been more true than it is now, because it's verifiable with science. So even if something comes up where it says, you know, your liver is really a red flag, and you're like, I went to the doctor, my liver's fine. Well, okay, but pay attention, because things manifest on the energetic level before they do on the physical level. But this is not about health. This is about stress. So what happens during the scan is it's also optimizing you. So you're getting frequencies from a distance. And, you know, I explained this in other videos, so I'm not going to go into the detail. But one of the beautiful things about it, which is why it is a guest at this party, is that you will be given, you will be sent 4 tones that you can listen to with earbuds every day that will absolutely help reduce your stress. And when I say absolutely, if you will listen to these every day, it addresses wherever you are energetically and emotionally, and it goes through this big database, and it's like, okay, this person that we just scanned is very low on the A note. And as a way to compensate, they're using more of their C note. This is from a voice analysis, by the way. So it gives you these tones through your ears. This all works together. The sounds that come out of our mouth, the sounds that go in our ears, and our energy body. So listening to those tones every day will absolutely reduce your stress. I think these scans, it depends. Sometimes I have a special for $100, sometimes $150. And if you have a coaching session with me, then you get one for free, right? So one single coaching session and will get the scan, the report, and the tone. So that's a pretty good deal, right? And you can look up on my website or below at the link and you can see what my fees are, because they change at different times. So now let's get to the really inexpensive stuff. Stress tools that I use, stress reduction tools. I will recommend this flower essence. My favorite for stress, which this is not it because I don't have any right now, but it is Bach Flower Remedies Rescue Remedy. And you just take this and you put a few drops under your tongue, close your eyes, and let the magic happen. And I don't know, I mean, what, $20, $30, but a bottle lasts for a long time. And you just do it when you need it. And if you are someone that is highly stressed and living in, survival mode, then do it every morning, right? And then my second would be essential oil. And the one that I like best for stress, while lavender is great, I recommend putting lavender oil, put a little in your hand and rub it on the bottom of your feet at night. I just did a post on Facebook about this. Your feet are like, your feet and your ears are miniature versions of your entire body. So you're soothing your entire body, and the scent of lavender, I put it on my feet at night and then I inhale it and it's like, oh, it's beautiful. But in the morning, I use Vibrant Blue Oils, which is a really reputable company. You can look it up. And I use Parasympathetic. And it comes in a little tiny bottle. You can see when you compare these. It's a little tiny bottle, but man, this stuff lasts. I mean, this has lasted me a year. I don't use it every day, but if I'm getting ready to go, in front of 500 people and talk, I just dab a little right behind my ear on that protruding bone. Why? Because that will penetrate and absorb into your vagus nerve. You getting this? So it treats your vagus nerve. Now, if you were to do all of these things, you would be like the Dalai Lama in a month. If you did them religiously, practice the perception exercises that I teach, and practice a daily meditation, you would be like the Dalai Lama. I mean, these things work. I cannot tell you how much they work, but you don't have to do all of them, right? You don't have to do all of them. You can say, well, I'm going to start out with an essential oil, or I'm going to start out with flower essence. You don't have to invest in other things. Now, let me tell you free, because free is good. When we're doing free things, and the last video in this series, which you'll see next week, will have to do with the big idea of something that I teach that's foundational to all of my programs. So I'm not going to really touch on that now. It's called meta creation. There's the hint. But I'm going to add this in today, and I'll talk about it briefly next week. But meditation is free. And do you know that there are, to date, as of I think 2 months ago, 6,873 university studies proving the amazing positive benefits of a 10-minute meditation. Now, I want to be clear, because I have clients listen to the tones, which I just told you about, and I have clients listening to guided meditation tapes or audios, which we'll talk about next week. This is not that. This is not either of those. This is you getting up in the morning, not falling back to sleep, but sitting up in the morning before you have coffee, closing your eyes, and meditating. Just quiet, 10 minutes, no music, no sound. Just finding that gap and then dropping down in your heart. And 10 minutes sounds like it's no big deal, but let me tell you, the people who need this the most are the ones who resist it the most. And so if you saw the video I did for Stress Fix, I think it was number 1 or number 2. I think it was number 2, about journaling. If you will do that, journal out whatever stress is on your mind, from the past, from the present, worried about the future, just get all your emotions out, and then do your 10-minute closed-eyed meditation. You don't need any of this stuff. That alone, and that's free. Let me give you another freebie. When it comes to toning our vagus nerve, we can do it through humming. Okay, not singing, but humming. Hum a whole song, and you can feel it. It's stimulating the vagal nerve, the vagus nerve. You also can gargle. You know, when you gargle, you stimulate your vagus nerve. Okay, so I just gave you 3 things that are free. So I don't want you thinking, oh, I watched your video and she wants me to spend $1,000. No, 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 no. It depends where you're at and what you find most appealing and what your budget allows for. But you don't need to go drop $1,000 in order to get out of stress. There are tools, and humming is free. Last time I checked, closing your eyes for 10 minutes and meditating, very free. Okay? So these are powerful, effective, and measurable ideas for you that will absolutely put you into your alpha, into rest and digest, which will open the portal for whatever you want to manifest. But it starts here. It doesn't start with a vision board. It doesn't start with, with scripting things out. Sure, we can do those things, but it's not going to get through because you have this barrier between the busy beta brainwave and the alpha theta that is really you. And we have got to cross that barrier. And so that's why this series of stress reduction, why it's important. It's about manifesting, right? Sure, it's going to improve your health, your relationships, your life, your energy, your overeating, your addictions. I mean, of course. But we're here about manifestation. And this is key. Okay, so hopefully you found this useful. Again, I'll put the link and I'll put the name. So in case you didn't see all these, I'll list it, the things that you can try and use. Because I really, really, really want you to start to learn that your body has everything to do with your stress. You know, the EFT, of course that helps. The writing, of course that helps. But now in this tool time video, we're really talking about what else can I use that is outside of me or inside of me, because meditating and humming, you don't have to go buy anything. What can I use to start to implement these stress reducing activities or tools? Okay, so I hope you found this useful. We have one more coming. It'll probably be the next video that I post, so keep an eye out for it, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye-bye for now.